The Eagles' big hits. For those of you Eagle fans out there, remember we are celebrating the life of Glenn Fry,
I hope you enjoyed it.
who passed away today, I believe, sometime earlier today, from ulcerative colitis, pneumonia, and rheumatoid arthritis.
Sound like he had a rough life, I guess, but that's what he had. They said he died peacefully. They did, that's what I did hear.
Well, he certainly wasn't listening to us, that's for sure.
No, I hope not.
I certainly don't mean to make light of something like that, but
Yeah.
folks, we're probably going to wrap it up soon. We have a little bit more
Well, first, we haven't really said anything about the actual
debates.
Yeah.
Well, I did mention some exchanges between Rubio and Christie. I was hoping somebody would call up, and I didn't want to be the only one sharing what I heard.
Well, let me ask you a question. Who do you think won the debate?
Yeah, well, it was a good debate for Donald Trump, I have to tell you. Despite
Donald Trump.
It was a good debate for Donald Trump. He did not lose his temper. He didn't really go crazy, He did bring up this whole birther business with Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz had a great line because he said, Donald knew about this 5 months ago, but the only reason he's bringing it up now is because the poll numbers have changed, so he has to do something to, get people to change their minds about Ted Cruz. And Donald Trump jumped all over Ted Cruz when he discussed New York values. Donald Trump said that he's been a New Yorker his whole life, born in Jamaica, Queens. He loves New York. He said there are no people like New York. He said, brought up the World Trade Center and how people from all over came to help clean up, but especially those policemen and firefighters who were running up the stairs when everybody else was running down. It was their job, and they took it seriously. And then how New Yorkers rallied and they rebuilt the whole area, downtown Manhattan. So he scored points there. Ted Cruz's former professor from Harvard was quoted by Donald Trump as saying that he thinks that Ted Cruz really has an issue with this birther business because even though his mother was a naturalized was an American citizen, he was born in Canada, and they had a couple of experts on the post-debate analyzing this whole question, and what the professors said was that the Constitution is very clear. You have to be born on American soil. And they said the difference between John McCain and Ted Cruz is that John McCain was born in I believe it was the Canal Zone in Panama, but it was a territory of the United States, and he was born on a military base, and both his parents were citizens. So there was no question about that.
Then John McCain was born, one of them was born in Arizona. Who's that?
No, he said, what they said was that one of the arguments was Barry Goldwater, former senator and presidential candidate from Arizona, was born in Arizona when Arizona was just a territory, but it eventually became a state. That's why they said that he was able to be a senator and run for president. So I'm sure we haven't heard the end of this.
It stirs things up. Actually, I was referring to Bernie and Hillary's debate, which just happened yesterday. What you thought of it, and who'd you think won?
I think it was pretty much of a draw. Hillary, if she's proven one thing, she's proven that she's well prepared for an argument. That no matter who the Republican nominee is going to be, they'll have their hands full when it comes to Hillary because she knows how to prepare. She doesn't get flustered. Okay. With Bernie, I tell you, it's really hard. You can't tell the difference because he's always shouting.
Yeah.
You know, he always talks in that, loud voice. So it almost sounds like he's arguing and shouting, But like I said, I feel the burn and I'm a Bernie man. I mean, I don't know how any working class person can really be against him. He seems to espouse all of the virtues that you would want in a candidate. Keeps telling you he doesn't have a pack. In fact, in the first debate, he said, "I don't even have a backpack." You know.
Yeah. No, he does not. Yep.
I mean, he does have a sense of humor. He said, talking about, I don't know how they got to talking about this, but he said he does have more than one pair of underwear. He said he went out and he bought, I think that was from the Saturday Night Live skit with Larry David when he said, "I only have one pair of underwear." So Bernie on that debate that week said, "I even went out and bought a couple of pair of underwear. Now I have three." But Bernie can bounce back.
Yeah. The problem with Bernie is, you can make a lot of promises. You could.
Well, you see, but
how are you gonna get there?
Well,
that's the problem.
Well, Hillary tried to say, Chelsea tried to say this, that Bernie's going to tax you 90%. Now the bottom line was Bernie never said anything about 90%. You do know that if you're going to vote for Bernie, your tax rate is going to go up. Okay. But only for the most part, those people earning more than $250,000 or more. In all honesty, I don't know anybody who makes $250,000. I certainly fall far short of that, and so do you. So the bottom line is, our tax structure will not change that much.
Everybody's taxes will go up. He said it. I read it today, and his reasoning is that the tax increase will be less than what you would pay for medical insurance.
It's very possible. If you had single payer, it probably would be.
So that's his reason.
It eliminates deductibles.
Yeah, you just...
right away, I mean, if you're two people on Medicare, every year it just went up to $200 Medicare, the deductible. So on two people, that's $400. So if your taxes were to go up $400...
What are you talking about, Medicare deductible?
Medicare has a deductible.
What you talking about, the AB?
Yeah, there's a deductible. You have to pay the first $200.
Yeah, but your supplemental usually takes care of that.
No.
Or your...
No, it doesn't.
Hey, what's your deductible for? Hospitalization?
I'm not up on that. All I know is that the Medicare deductible went up this year. It goes up every year.
No, I just don't know what it's for. I know I just got a Medicare, and I have no idea what the deductibles are actually. I just know there's what he's basically talking about is Medicare for all. I think that's what he's calling his program.
Yeah, and it's going to be single payer.
Well, I think the way he's talking about it is, I think we're going to be paying 2% for the medical insurance of our income, and as you go up in the income, you probably pay more. And there's definitely going to be a lot more taxes. But originally, if you remember, Mark, when Obamacare came out, one of my ideas was I said you're better off just giving everybody Medicare time ago. And I think Bernie's ideas are good, but you got to realize it's going to be a lot more money. So,
Well, I don't know, I don't know what the increase would be, but the bottom line is, people in England, people in France who have, you know, paid leave for the birth of a child or hospitalization. I mean, they pay nothing when they go into the hospital. They pay nothing when they go to the doctor. It's all comes out of their taxes. Okay. But some people want to lead you to believe that they're paying like 80% taxes. But, you should remember that back during the Eisenhower administration, if you earned a certain amount of money, you were paying 85 to 90% in taxes. So if you made $1 million, you only got to keep about 100,000. The rest was basically going to taxes.
I don't remember the structure, but it's definitely true that the Europeans have a much higher tax structure than the U.S. does. I mean, the U.S. has probably the lowest tax structure of all the first world countries, I guess.
Well, the only thing that some of the Republicans are talking about, you remember back in 2012, most of the Republicans were talking about a flat rate tax. 5%, 10% of your income, and then that would be it. That's all you had to pay.
They're talking about it now also.
I know. And then we all remember Herman Cain's, 999.
There's nothing, to me, there's nothing wrong with having a flat tax as long as it's a fair tax.
Well, that's what they were trying to say. If it was 10% across the board, everybody's percentage-wise paying the same thing. But, of course, if you earn more money, you would be paying more than somebody who makes less money, which, again, makes a lot of sense. Dollars and cents.
Get rid of all the loopholes and everything else.
Well, but they also wanted to do away with, interest rates on mortgages. That would kill the home. No one would want to buy a home if you didn't have the deduction for your mortgage. Really.
If you're only paying 10% tax, then you really wouldn't need it probably.
Oh, I don't know. There are people that are paying, that have a very high mortgage and they're, paying a lot in taxes. Property tax, school tax, finance charge on the mortgage. You do away with all that. That's, for some people, that's the only deduction that they have. If you don't have
the whole
child care, if you don't have a child care, somebody watching your children or whatever, and the children are not dependents, the only thing that most people have is what they pay for their home, the tax structure.
Okay. See, somebody wrote a big thing here. I wasn't reading.
Well, why don't we address that?
I put my glasses on. We had somebody wrote a book here on our chat room. I didn't look.
Well, where are your glasses?
I don't know. Okay, let's see. Okay, biker. Okay. Can you read this, Mark? I can't see it. You got your glasses?
Well, let me see. Get up.
Getting up. We're talking here a mile a minute, not looking.
Interesting. I thought the Republican debate was one of substance and the Democrats was one of crap. He says, Good to see you pay close attention to your chat room. LOL. I'll probably